What's good with you fellas? T-Ray the Collector back here with another video. This time around we got my Blu-ray haul from the month of February. This has honestly been one of my favorite hauls in the last little bit. I picked up a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff that I had been wanting, some stuff I had been eyeing for a little while, some stuff I had wanted in my collection for a little bit, and I've finally been able to add it. And if you watched the January Blu-ray haul video, I told you guys I was starting a new collection, and that has come in full force. We've got a lot of new stuff for that new collection I've started, and I'm pretty excited to share that with you guys and show you guys all the stuff I've picked up for that. But I'm not going to waste too much time. I did pick up a lot of stuff online this time around, not really a whole lot of in-person pickups. We got a few in-person pickups, but not near as many as normal. This time around, we mainly got some Amazon, eBay, and Shout Factory stuff. They had a nice little sale, so I took advantage of that. And yeah, not gonna waste too much time. Like I said, just gonna go ahead and jump right into it here, show you guys everything I picked up, and we're gonna start off with the Shout Factory sale stuff. All right, so the first thing I picked up from the Shout Factory sale, Candyman. I've been wanting this in my collection, the original. I have not seen the remake, so I don't really know how good it is or how good it isn't. But I do love the original, and it's something I've been wanting to get in my collection for a little bit. So very excited to finally own Candyman. And I like this little Shout Factory artwork they did there. I'll show you guys that. Get that in close so you guys can see that. Very cool artwork, as Shout Factory is known for. Then up next, we got RoboCop 2. Now, I believe I said in a previous video that I was probably going to get a trilogy pack for the RoboCop movies because I only have RoboCop 1 at the moment. But when I saw these on Shout Factory, I was like, okay, these are on sale. I love the artwork on these, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and get those here. So I did, and we got RoboCop 2. You guys can see that awesome artwork right there that Shout Factory, like I said, does. And then, of course, we got RoboCop 3. Came with a nice slip cover there. Wish the second one would have, but it's okay. I don't have a slip cover on the first one either. But I did pick up RoboCop 2 and 3. These were pretty cheap on their sale they had. They're actually having another sale right now, so definitely worth going and checking out. I did get a bunch of really cool stuff, as you guys will see and are seeing right now. Did get RoboCop 2 and 3 there. Up next, we got Lake Placid. This is one I had been wanting for a little bit, more specifically the second one, but I figured if I'm going to get the second one, I might as well get the first one. This has Bridget Fonda, uh, Bill Pullman, and Oliver Platt in it. It's been a long time since I've seen the first one. Every time I watched the Lake Placid movie, it was normally the second one with the dude from the Dukes of Hazzard in there. That was the one I normally watched when I was growing up on the Sci-Fi Channel. If you guys watched any amount of the Sci-Fi Channel, you know that movie was kind of a mainstay over there. So I'm really wanting to get the second one, but this was $9.99 on Shout Factory, so I figured I'm going to go ahead and get this, and then when the time is right, I'll get the second one because it's kind of expensive. It is out of print, so pretty hard to find and pretty expensive to get, but I will eventually get that, and we'll have the first one to go with it there. Up next, this is both of these are blind buys, but they look pretty interesting. Future Kick and Crime Zone double pack here, also from Shout Factory. This is one of those that I saw on there, and I was like, I kind of need to get over that hump for free shipping, so I might as well grab this. I'm eyeing it. It looks like right up my alley. Some cheesy 80s action movies. Love them, so went ahead and picked up Crime Zone and Future Kick. Pretty excited to have a little double feature night and watch both of these. Looks like it's going to be a pretty fun time. And that's going to bring us into our next little stack here, and these are going to be my in-person pickups. Like I said, not a whole lot of in-person pickups this month, but still quite a few and some pretty good ones that I'm pretty excited about, so go ahead and jump into those. First thing I picked up is a little double pack here of The Last Boy Scout and Last Man Standing. Pretty excited to have this. I really like The Last Boy Scout. That's the only reason I really bought it, because I don't think it has its own Blu-ray. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure to get this on Blu-ray, you have to get it in this little double pack. I've never seen The Last Man Standing. I'm probably going to watch it at some point, but mainly just bought this for The Last Boy Scout. Love that movie, so very excited to add that to the collection. Found this at Game Exchange as part of their buy two, get one. Up next, also a game exchange find, part of the buy two get one. Point of No Return. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a blind buy when I bought it. I have since watched it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It has Bridget Fonda in it as well, kind of like Lake Placid over there. Didn't mean for that to happen, but ended up having a little Bridget Fonda month. But I enjoyed this. I didn't know it was a remake of a French film when I bought it, and after I, went to Google it as you do when you finish watching a movie, just to kind of see what people thought about it and read some reviews and maybe connect some loose ends that you didn't quite understand. I found out that this movie is a remake of a French film and not very popular online. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I gave it either a 3.5 or 4 stars on Letterboxd, and everybody else was like giving it 2 stars or 1 star, and I was kind of surprised. I really enjoyed this movie. I haven't seen the original, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, I did enjoy Point of No Return. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Bridget Fonda was really good in this, and just enjoyed it. Thought it was a lot of fun. My boy JP got screwed, in my opinion, but that's life. It happens. But yeah, I did enjoy this movie. Very happy to have it in the collection and to watch it again. I thought it was a lot of fun. Then up next, the last game exchange pickup of the month. I needed one for my freebie, and this is one I had been wanting to get for a little bit, and that is The Marine with John Cena. This is one of those movies I watched probably 10 times as a young T-Ray. Love The Marine. I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a great movie by certain standards, but as far as a fun watch, this is a great movie, and I do really enjoy The Marine with John Cena, and I had been wanting to add it to the collection for a while. I was thinking of getting that 3-pack that had Marine 1, 2, and 3, but just decided to go ahead and get this one, and I'll maybe get the Marine 2 and 3 at some point. Not really in a huge hurry to add those, because as far as the Marines go, I like this one and the ones with the Miz. I think the Miz does a really good job, but I'm also a major Miz fan, so could be some bias there. But yeah, not a huge fan of the Marine as a series, but definitely a huge fan of the first one here. Next, we got some Walmart pickups. These I did find in Walmart, and I was very surprised to see them on the shelf still, and that is Kill Bill. I'll go ahead and show you guys. Kill Bill Volume 2. Surprisingly, I have never seen these movies. I know you guys can let me know in the comments below how disrespectful that is, but I did buy them, so I am planning to right that wrong, and I really like the slipcovers on these. The 4K re-releases of Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2 there got added to the collection. Love these slipcovers. I think they're really nice, especially in person. I don't know how much justice the video is going to do them, but you can in person, they're nice. If you get a chance, I definitely recommend checking them out in person. Check your Walmarts for them. Really nice slipcovers. Hopefully these are really good movies. Hopefully it seems like something that's right up my alley. So and everybody says they're good movies, so definitely excited to watch those. Then up next, kind of the most surprising pickup I found this month, and this was not something I was planning on getting, but once I saw it in person, I was like, okay, I'll get that. And that is the Wicked Steelbook. I was very surprised to see this in person. It seemed like everybody was having trouble finding this, and I was actually after the Blade Steelbook when I was there, and I have a funny story about that coming up later on, but I did find the Wicked Steelbook, did not find the Blade Steelbook, and I was very surprised that the Wicked Steelbook was there, but the Blade Steelbook was not. This seemed to be a pretty hot commodity, and I'm guessing the Blade Steelbook is too. Usually that is how it goes with Blade things. That 4K that was released a couple of months back was also a hot commodity. Yeah, I did pick up the Wicked Steelbook. Pretty excited to give this a watch. I missed it when it was in theaters, so very excited to go back now and give that a watch. Then up next, we got some eBay purchases. These I got on Groove on their eBay. They had like that buy three get 20% off type thing. So I kind of cleaned house a little bit there. And the first thing I picked up is Dog Day Afternoon. I've wanted this in my collection for a very long time. The first time I watched this movie, I don't think the Blu-ray was available Region A yet. I think it just came out last year sometime for the 40th anniversary, I believe it is. Say, yeah, the 40th anniversary of this movie. This got a Blu-ray release finally. I'm very excited it did, and I didn't pick it up for a little bit because it was pretty pricey still. with that buy three get 20% off, and I think it was already on sale for like $17.99. So I decided to go ahead and pick that up. Very excited to finally have Dog Day Afternoon. I love this movie. Great performances all around in this movie. Very excited to finally have that. And then up next, this was a blind buy. I have since watched it, and I actually really enjoyed this movie. This is one like Point of No Return where you watch it and then you go and you read the reviews, and everybody's like, that sucked. I hated that, but I thought Kurt Russell was really awesome in this movie, and that is Soldier. He doesn't talk a lot, which I think really added to the character and made it a lot more badass, in my opinion. This is one of those movies you'll like if you like 80s and 90s action movies. This is kind of right up that alley, and I thought it was a ton of fun. Kurt Russell's a badass in this. Definitely worth checking out if you're into that sort of thing. Like I said, he doesn't talk a lot, but it really adds to the performance of the character, especially since it's Kurt Russell and his facial expressions are stoic and badass. Really enjoyed Soldier here. Then up next, picked up the Lethal Weapon 4 movie pack there. These are some movies I've been wanting to add to my collection for a little bit, and finally got around to doing so with the Groove eBay sale they had going on there. I think they do that all the time. Might be wrong, but I think you can go on there pretty much anytime and get 20% off three or more, and the more you add to your cart, the more you save. They do cap it at a certain point, but it's like $100, so you can get a pretty good discount on some stuff. But yeah, I did pick up the Lethal Weapon 4 pack there. Very excited to finally get those in the collection and watch those. I've heard the fourth one is not the greatest, but I'm very excited to watch the first three and check those out. And then up next, kind of another classic action franchise here. I picked up the Rush Hour trilogy. This was $14. Something I had been wanting to get for a little bit, something that has been on my watch list for a very long time. I know I'm kind of exposing myself here. Haven't seen Kill Bill, haven't seen the Lethal Weapons, and haven't seen Rush Hour, but I am planning on righting all those wrongs pretty soon. Hence why I picked them all up. Not a huge fan. I mean, the artwork's cool, but when you take a really close look at it, you can kind of see his eyes there are a little wonky on Chris Tucker there. But yeah, very excited to finally give these a watch and see what all the fuss is about, and if these are as good as everybody says they are. So be looking forward to doing that pretty soon. Then up next, I picked up The Last Starfighter. This was the last little bit of my Groove purchase there, and I haven't seen this one either, but it looked pretty good. Looks like classic 80s, 90s action madness here. So very excited to pop that in, give that a watch. I almost watched this like 2 or 3 times now, and then ended up switching to something else each time. But I'm eventually going to get around to this. This seems like a good weekday movie for when I just want to watch something, that's under 2 hours and just kind of a turn your mind off movie. This seems like this is going to be a good one to do that. So I'm kind of saving it for that. And yeah, very excited to check out The Last Starfighter. Then up next, Blade on 4K. And you might be wondering, T-Ray, why are you looking at it like that? That is because I thought I was buying a Blade Steelbook when I bought this. I guess I misremembered this 4K being a Steelbook release, and I don't know what I was thinking. I had been checking eBay for the new Blade Steelbook that's come out here recently, and was hoping, maybe somebody's getting rid of theirs. Maybe they took the code out and they're getting rid of theirs for, around retail, maybe a few bucks above retail. And, that would justify being able to buy it and not having to drive to Walmart. And I can't find it at Walmart anyway, so I was kind of willing to pay, $10 over retail or whatever. So I see this and it's listed for $26. And I'm like, oh man, that's the last Blade Steelbook that came out. I remembered seeing the artwork, and I was like, oh yeah, that's that last Blade Steelbook that came out. And the guy put on there with slipcover. So I'm thinking, oh, he means the J card, like just totally ignoring all these signs. I'm thinking he means the J card. He even shows a picture of it open, and it's obviously not the inside of a Steelbook. So, I order it very quickly in a hurry because I'm like, somebody's going to snag that. This guy's got that listed at $26. That's going to go so fast. Flash forward a couple days later, I'm like, I'm going to go check the tracking on that. So I go check the tracking, and then I'm like, I'm going to go back and look and just, kind of admire what I have coming in the mail. And lo and behold, I finally realized like 2 days before it's supposed to be here that this is the regular 4K version and not the steelbook version. But it's honestly it's okay. I love Blade, so I'm okay with having multiple different formats of Blade in my collection. If I find the steelbook, I'm still gonna get it. But for now, this is more than okay. I'm definitely happy to have the 4K of this in my collection as well, even if it was a mistake buy. But yeah, I'm still gonna get the steelbook if I see it in person. And for now, I'll be happy to have the 4K Blade in my collection, even if I made myself look like a dumbass in the process. Up next is some Amazon purchases. They had that buy one get one 50% off sale. And I'll show you guys what I picked up with that, and then just some other general purchases that I got this month. The buy two, the buy one get one 50% off. I ended up picking up the Backdraft 4K. This has been one I've been wanting to see for a little bit. Robert De Niro, Kurt Russell seemed like a dream team to me, so I was very excited to watch this. I hadn't seen it prior to buying it, but I have since watched it and did really enjoy it. Thought it was a fun movie. William Baldwin is really good in this movie as well. I thought he, held up with Kurt Russell and Robert De Niro and was pretty fun to watch in this movie. I really enjoyed this movie. Kind of a lot of twists and turns, and just a lot of cool action. Kind of a different action than I'm used to seeing. So I thought this was really cool and a really fun watch. Definitely excited to have that in the collection. Then up next, as part of that buy one get one 50% off, I picked up Fern Gully: The Last Rainforest. It had been a very long time since I had seen this, and I have since watched it, and it holds up in my opinion. This is a really fun movie, really good little story here, really nice artwork that kind of brings back some nostalgia. This is one of those movies we would watch during recess when it was raining outside and you had to go sit in the library and watch a movie. This is one of those we would watch, so the artwork itself is very nostalgic in my opinion, and very excited to finally get that. This is one I've been wanting for a little bit, so very excited to finally get that. Up next, I picked up Career Opportunities, a John Hughes film there. Jennifer Connelly. Do I need to say more? I would definitely pick this up because of her and because it's a John Hughes movie. This movie isn't my favorite John Hughes movie by any means. It's good and it's fun, but it's just kind of like the ending's really abrupt. It doesn't, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those movies that could have benefited from being like 10, 15 minutes longer. And normally I don't say that, but this is definitely one of those films that could have benefited from being a little longer. But I do enjoy it. It's a nice little quirky comedy, John Hughes style. You can definitely tell his fingerprints are on this, and this is actually getting a 4K release. But I decided, I kind of want to get every John Hughes film in my collection, so I don't really care to wait for this to go on 4K and pay $30 for it. This was $16, and I'm more than happy to pay that. But just in case you are thinking about getting Career Opportunities, that is something to think about, that it is getting a 4K release. I believe in April is when that's coming, so maybe hold off on the Blu-ray if you're picky about that, but the Blu-ray is good enough for me, and it's quite a bit cheaper, so went ahead and picked up Career Opportunities. Up next, this is one I've been wanting to get for a little bit. This is a childhood classic for me, and that is Barnyard, the original Party Animals. This movie will make you cry, it'll make you laugh. It's got literally everything. The TV show is even pretty good back in the day, and if you played the Game Boy Advance game, fire. I loved playing that game. Probably one of my most played Game Boy Advance games, and love this movie. Got laughs, cries, everything. Like I said, especially the scene, the "Won't Back Down" scene. If you've seen this and you know, you know. But yeah, definitely excited to finally get Barnyard. I think this was down to $7.99 on Amazon, and I was placing an order, so just decided to go ahead and throw that in the cart and get that delivered as well. Then up next, we got another John Hughes movie, one that I already have in the collection, but I ended up getting that crappy pop art version of Weird Science. Finally was going to go back and, kind of just see if there was any other version on there, because when I ordered it, I ordered the standard, movie poster that you see all the time case, and ended up getting that crappy pop art version, and the case is broken on the bottom, so I had really been wanting to replace it for a little bit, and this was on sale. The Arrow version of Weird Science was on sale for, I want to say, 13 bucks, and I was very very excited about that. It might still be on sale. You guys might go check that out if you're wanting to get Weird Science. I don't believe the 4K version was on sale quite as much, but the Blu-ray version was on sale for 13 bucks, and this is one of my favorite John Hughes movies, so I really wanted to have a nice copy in there, not that crappy broken pop art case that it came in. Not a huge fan of that cover at all, but I love this cover. Love the inside of that too. If you guys have this, you know, but if not, I'll show you guys there. Arrow always does a really good job with their stuff. Looks really nice on the inside. This is the poster I thought I was getting when I originally bought this movie, but alas, it was a pop art version. But yeah, really excited to finally have a good version of Weird Science in there. Like I said, love this movie. Probably one of my favorite John Hughes films besides Home Alone. Love Weird Science, so excited for that. Up next, I believe this is a newer release, came out this month from Kino Lorber. I picked up Summer Rental with John Candy. I hadn't seen this, but I love John Candy, so I was willing to pay 20 bucks for a blind buy on him and ended up enjoying it. It's not one of my favorite John Candy films, but definitely a lot of fun. I think this movie really picks up once he breaks his leg. I think that's when the shenanigans and the funniness of the movie really pick up. Until then, you're kind of like, oh man, I'm not gonna enjoy this. But after he broke his leg and everything happened with that, it ended up getting quite a few laughs out of me, and I really enjoyed this. So definitely something I would watch again. Really enjoyed Summer Rental. Up next, I picked up Alpha Dog. This has been a pain in the ass to get in my collection. I've tried to buy this on Whatnot. I've tried to buy this in person, and when I tried to buy it on Whatnot, the seller ended up sending me a completely different stack of movies than what I had ordered, and this was one of the ones that was in there. When I tried to buy this in person, it was a double pack with Precinct 13. I get to the counter with it, and they're like, "Oh, actually, we don't have the Alpha Dogs disc. Would you be okay with just the Precinct 13 disc?" And I was buying the double pack for Alpha Dog, so ended up not picking that up. But finally have this was down to like $7.99 on Amazon, and so I was like, okay, I'm pulling the trigger. Hopefully this is the time, third time's the charm, and was finally able to get Alpha Dog. Very excited. I saw this once, probably 8 years ago when I was 18 or 19, and I remember really enjoying it. I need to watch it again. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember this being a really good movie and remember really enjoying the performances in this and it being based off a true story, which I thought was pretty crazy when I watched it. But definitely excited to rewatch this and to be able to finally have this after so many failed attempts at owning this movie. Up next, I picked up a fever dream of a movie, probably the most fever dream movie I can think of off the top of my head, and that is The Cat in the Hat, the live action version with Mike Myers. This was on sale on Amazon for 5 bucks, so if you're wanting it, I'm pretty sure it's still on sale for 5 bucks, as is Ghostbusters, I believe. If you guys don't have Ghostbusters or this, you can go get them for 5 bucks shipped to your door. Thought that was a pretty good deal, something I have had on my list for a while, but it's one of those movies, that you put on your list, and when I get to it or when the price is right, I'll grab that. And I thought 5 bucks was a pretty fair price to pay for this movie. This is a childhood classic here. Remember watching this quite a bit, and yeah, I remember it being a complete fever dream of a movie, and I'm kind of excited to watch it again. I haven't seen it since I was probably 9 or 10, so very excited to go back and check that out. Next, we got a Hamilton book purchase. I do have another Hamilton book purchase, but it's going to be in this next stack here with the collection. I told you guys last video I was starting, and I'll get to that and show you guys that once we get to that stack. But Hamilton book did have Black Widow. This is one I had been needing for the MCU collection, so decided to go ahead and get that. Very excited when you can get a Marvel movie on Hamilton books that doesn't say import by it. But yeah, very excited to finally get this. I really enjoyed this movie actually. I know it's one of the least popular MCU movies, but I did. I thought it was really good. remember really enjoying this, especially Red Guardian. Very excited to get him back in Thunderbolts. I think that's going to be a great time, and I'm very excited to have this in the collection and come one step closer to completing my MCU collection. I think I'm about 5, 6, maybe 7 movies away from completing that, so I'm very excited to get one step closer there. All right, and now it is time for the main event, in my opinion. I told you guys last video that I was starting a Patrick Swayze collection. I had watched Roadhouse and Dirty Dancing, and was really kind of blown away by those. Roadhouse made it into my top 10 favorite movies of all time, so I was like, I gotta give him the Arnold Schwarzenegger treatment and the Jean-Claude Van Damme treatment. If you guys know, I do collect all of their movies as well. Decided to add Patrick Swayze to that little Mount Rushmore, and picked up a lot of his movies. And one thing I found out is that Patrick Swayze movies are kind of hard, besides, here and there movies, they're kind of hard to track down on Blu-ray. Like 1114 doesn't have a US Blu-ray release that I could find. Neither does Tiger Warsaw, which I'm very, very upset about. I really want to see that one and have that one in my collection. In my opinion, though, I think Tiger Warsaw will probably get something. It just seems like something that Arrow Video or Kino Lorber, or somebody like that would love to pick up. So hopefully that is the case soon. But enough rambling. I'm going to show you guys what he does have on Blu-ray and what I picked up. The first of which being Fatherhood. Didn't too much care for this one. It wasn't a bad movie by any means. Just didn't really scratch that itch for me that I thought it was going to be. Kind of a different vibe altogether than I thought it was going to be. Patrick Swayze is phenomenal in this, as he always is. I thought he carried the movie. Very great performance by him, but just not one of my favorite Patrick Swayze movies by any means, but definitely excited to have it in the collection and keep building the Patrick Swayze collection there. Next up, I picked up Young Blood, another Kino Lorber release. This also has Rob Lowe and Keanu Reeves are in this as well. Rob Lowe's the lead, but Patrick Swayze plays a pretty big part, so I thought, this counts as Patrick Swayze, and a lot of his other movies you can't even get on Blu-ray, so kind of taking what we can get here. And I did really enjoy this movie. It's actually getting a remake, which I didn't know until I forgot where I read it, maybe on Reddit, that this is getting a remake, which I'm kind of surprised about. Not sure this really needs a remake. Not sure how popular this movie even was to deserve a remake, but I enjoyed this movie. Thought it had a pretty good message along to it, and really good performances by Swayze and Lowe, and even Keanu Reeves' small part in this is pretty fun. So very excited to own Young Blood. Up next, this was the other part of my Hamilton Books purchase. I was pretty excited to find this on there while, building my Patrick Swayze collection. I really, really enjoyed this movie. Kind of reminded me of Dune, and if you've seen it, you can kind of draw those similarities in your mind. Kind of just different parts of it definitely do mirror some of Dune. Not just the fact that it's in the desert, but there's a lot of similarities between this and Dune, in my opinion. But I did really enjoy this movie. This is another one of those movies where I went to look it up online afterwards, and the reviews on it were terrible, but I ended up giving it a 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. Probably one of my more favorite Patrick Swayze movies I watched this month, and I watched a lot of them. This definitely ranked up there for me. Steel Dawn, really enjoyed it. Thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely 80s, 90s action. I kind of have a soft spot for that, so if you're not into that, this may not be for you, but if you are into that, I definitely recommend checking this out if you have not seen it. The ending's pretty good too. I thought, it really brought his character together in this, and he does a really good job of playing this character, so definitely worth checking out if you have not seen it. And it's on Hamilton Books for like $5, so you can't go wrong with a $5 movie like that. Up next, probably my favorite Patrick Swayze movie I watched this month, and that is Ghost. I had never seen this. This has Demi Moore, which I had only really seen her in The Substance. Kind of a noob, if you will, to watching movies. I only really started seriously watching movies in the last year or two, so I haven't seen a lot of Demi Moore. But definitely really, really loved this movie. I ended up giving this a 5-star movie, and it is definitely in my top 10 movies of all time. Loved this movie. I can't say enough good things about it. Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, fantastic in this movie. I'm sure all of you guys have seen this. I'm pretty sure this was a pretty big deal at the time it came out in the 90s, but if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch this. I believe this is like $10 on Amazon, and it might be on streaming services, I'm not sure, but definitely check this out if you haven't seen it. Like I said, I thoroughly loved this movie. Very excited to have this in my collection so I can watch it again whenever I want. This might even be in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I really enjoyed this movie. Definitely worth checking out. Bring some tissues with you. You're gonna cry, but it's a fantastic movie. Very unique and very fun. So definitely worth checking out Ghost. Speaking of fun, this was kind of a little sleeper hit for me. I did not know what to expect from this movie, and I ended up loving this. This is To Wong Fu. Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. And this has Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze and John Leguizamo. Forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but show you guys that there. And as you can tell, they are in drag, and I thought this was a hilarious movie. Just a fun time too. This is again one of those movies where if the actors hadn't committed 100% to this, it would not have been as great as it is. But all three of these guys, Swayze, Snipes, and John, there, all really commit to the bit, and it is fantastic. Very funny movie. If you have not seen this, I definitely recommend checking this out. I believe this is like $13 on Amazon, but still, if you haven't seen this, you're gonna enjoy it. I promise you. Very funny movie, very very good performances by everybody involved in this, that it really makes the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend checking it out. If you're a fan of either Swayze or Snipes, I think you're going to be blown away by their performances. And if you guys have seen this, you can testify down in the comments below so we can get people to watch this, because I did feel like this is kind of a little sleeper hit that I had never even heard of and heard nobody talk about. But definitely some very fun performances by all involved here, and just a really funny movie. Definitely going to get some laughs out of you. Up next, this is kind of one of those ones that was probably my least favorite of the pack, and that is Black Dog. I did enjoy Randy Travis's performance, but this ultimately kind of reminded me of a like CMT movie. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you ever watched CMT, and checked out their movies. This kind of reminded me of one of those movies that would come on at like 11 o'clock at night on CMT. I didn't dislike it. It really got pretty good towards the end, but the first part, I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, just kind of drags. Not one of my favorite movies. I didn't not enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it either. It's kind of a middle of the road movie for me. Like I said, really enjoyed Randy Travis's performance in this, and there's a few surprises in this that I thought were pretty good, but other than that, I don't know how soon I'm gonna be rewatching this, but still had to get it for the Swayze collection, and that is Black Dog. Watch at your own risk. If you're into semi truck and movies like that, you might enjoy this one. Personally, I thought it was kind of run of the middle of the road movie, but like I said, check it out if you want to. Up next, picked up Next of Kin. I did enjoy this one. I thought this one was a lot of fun. This has Bill Paxton, and Liam Neeson is actually in this too, so very cool. But yeah, really kind of a fun little movie here. The ending's kind of odd in my opinion. It just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel as satisfying as it should, but it's still a really good movie just for the performances of Swayze, Paxton, and Liam Neeson, especially, I think does a really good job in this movie. Young Liam Neeson, very cool to see. I didn't realize it was him until like 2/3 of the way through the movie. I don't know. I guess I'm just so used to seeing him in like Taken and stuff that it didn't dawn on me that that's Liam Neeson. But yeah, really cool movie. Like I said, the ending's a little deflating and not the best ending I've ever seen, but still pretty fun one to watch there. And then last but not least, I picked up the 4K of Dirty Dancing. This was extremely cheap on Amazon, and this is the first thing I bought to kick off my Swayze collection besides Roadhouse. I actually just recently watched this for the first time and thoroughly enjoyed this movie, more so than I was expecting to. Miles was with me and he enjoyed it as well, didn't you? Yeah. But we enjoyed Dirty Dancing, thought it was really good. Definitely something I will watch again, and probably in my top 5 Swayze movies for sure. If not top 3. Really enjoyed this one, and yeah, positive everybody's seen this movie, so not gonna ramble on about that one. And that's it, guys. That's everything I picked up in the month of February. Like I said, really fun month of hauls. Got some stuff I had been wanting to get, stuff that I had my eye on for a little bit, was finally able to pull the trigger on a lot of that stuff. So very excited about that. And, kicked off the Swayze collection with a bang. Not sure how much more Swayze I'm actually going to be able to find, but hopefully we get some releases of like Tiger Warsaw in 1114. I would love to own 1114. So that's pretty much going to do it, guys. That's everything I picked up in the month of February. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet, or if you're new here, please go ahead and hit subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me when you guys stick around for the journey. And I'll be back soon with the action figure haul for the month of February. Got a lot of stuff in the mail for February as well. And then, next month's Blu-ray haul right around the corner. It seems like the year is flying by. We're already in March as of recording this, so definitely flying by. But that's pretty much going to do it, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I'm done rambling. Thank you so much for tuning in. You've been phenomenal. I've been T-Ray, and I will see you in the next one.